Hall of Fame, Mr. Rusty Wallace.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much. So we're just getting, got to explain to everybody right now, we're just getting off of the track.
Yeah.
And I sat in the car with you that I've never sat in going a speed like that ever in my life. And that was, I think I'm a little bit floating still right now as we're sitting here.
You feel that car moving around a little bit, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you got to tell me about your 2001 AutoClub 400 win at the Speedway.
Yeah, thanks. It was a huge win for me. My car owner, Roger Penske, built this track, and we always felt like we had self-induced pressure to always run good at the track that he had something to do with, you know. But that particular day, we just had the best engine combination. We had a great handling car, and we were just coming off of the Daytona 500 where our good friend Dale Earnhardt lost his life. So it was a tragic deal, and I remember just competing that day going, man, this car is just performing exactly how I want it. And I was racing Jeff Gordon. Well, long story short, I beat Jeff Gordon and won the race, and when that race was over, I took the number 3 flag for Dale Earnhardt. My guys had one made in the truck. They carried it out to me, and I drove around the racetrack celebrating my victory with that 3 flag hanging out the window. And I was talking to some media guys this morning. They say, we still remember that day. That was a big, big day. So for me to win the California 500 out here and celebrate Dale Earnhardt's life that day, and plus a big, big win, that was a real special day.
That is so awesome. What is it about California that makes racing out here so special?
It's because we're so used to racing on the East Coast and seeing all the same people week after week on the East Coast. And when you come out here with this backdrop of all the beautiful mountains and this big track, and we get to see different people. I mean, I got a bunch of friends that I hardly ever see until I come out here. I got Walker Evans, a big off-road champion, and my buddy Don Perdone, the big drag racer. He comes out. We all hang out. Favorite restaurants we got, and it's like it's a vacation for me.
Okay. Because
we see everything different. The guys from Oakley Sunglasses have been one of my sponsors for a long time, and so we go see those guys. They come out here, so it's a big gathering of people that we normally don't see. And plus, it's just I feel like I'm on vacation when I come here. So it's a different feel. The rest of the tracks, I feel like I'm going to the race to compete and do the best job I can, but when I come here, I got a mixture of competition and vacation too.
There it is, the sun is shining,
yeah,
good times. So what is it, was it somebody, or what was it that inspired you to get into racing?
What got me into racing was my dad. My dad did it as a hobby back in the St. Louis, Missouri area. And then I started building some cars and started doing pretty good. In fact, I started winning, and then I decided, you know what, maybe I can make a living doing this. And so I started taking off, and I lived in St. Louis, and I started building these cars and going all over the country and got real successful. And they saw some of the wins. One of the big car owners that was in NASCAR saw them, and he said, I want to get that kid to drive for me. And so my first ride was driving for Gatorade. And so I drove for Gatorade, won the Rookie of the Year back in 1984, and my career took off. And so I owe it all to my short track upbringing and my dad.
That is so awesome. What is it that you would tell a young racer right now who's aspiring to be one day hopefully comparable to you?
Well, one thing I've always done to make myself successful on a continuous basis, on a consistent basis, was pay attention to the car. Man, I always paid attention to the setup of the car, the springs, the shocks, all the way the car operated, because I knew if I had to rely on somebody else to tell me everything, I wasn't going to be too successful. I had to know it. And so I was always known as one of the guys that knew the car. Like, I would come in and say, okay, it needs this spring change or this shock change or this air pressure change to make it, run faster or handle better. And it always worked for me. So every time I see a young kid who, hey, Rusty, what can I do to get involved in this sport and get involved in kind of quickly? And I'm like, well, nothing happens quick, but I will tell you, man, you got to know that car. If you know that car and you put your heart and soul in understanding that automobile, you're gonna be a successful guy. You'll be a famous dude one of these days.
That is cool. So can you tell us a little bit about what you have going on here at the Speedway? I know you also have a very cool program that other people can be a part of and see more.
Yeah, I love it. I love coming out to these racetracks, and I do a lot of work for the International Speedway Corporation, who owns a lot of these tracks, part of the France family. And this track is owned by that family, and so I'm out here right now to do some advanced promotion for the AutoClub 400. It's a race that's been really successful, almost sold out the last 4 or 5 years. It's one of the tracks that the drivers talk about it a lot now because the asphalt out there on this track has kind of got seasoned, I call it, and it's put on really, really good races because of that. I'm talking 3 and 4 wide nail biters right to the very end. And so I love doing that. But today, I'll be doing a lot of media work. I'm doing some go-kart racing outside the racetrack off of turn 2, or turn 4, I mean. But just a lot of activities. And the whole reason is to bring some more attention to the AutoClub 400 that's coming up on March the 18th. And if you're looking for tickets, you go to CaliforniaSpeedway.com to get them. But that's what I'll be doing for the next couple of days, and I've had a good time so far.
Very cool. Mr. Wallace, I appreciate
Thanks
your
a lot,
time.
man.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much for taking me out there on that track.
Hope you had a good time.
Absolutely.
It was a little windy out there, but we were doing pretty good.
Woo! It was something else. Thanks again.